Chatgpt 4.1. Is this the miracle to make money with affiliate marketing? Well, today that's what we're going to be looking at. Recently, Chatgpt released this model to pretty much any user of the OpenAI software. And this model is promising to do things that other models only dreamed of. Better coding, better writing, less fluff and useless files, and more of the stuff that actually makes us money. In fact, we can see in this example, it's making a little flashcard game from a pretty detailed prompt. Understanding detailed prompts is what sets this apart from other AI models. But today, we're going to put this to the test. I'm going to show you the ways that I use AI in my business to make money as an affiliate marketer, the tools I use, and we're going to stack Chatgpt 4.1 against them to show you exactly where this is going to help you make money and exactly how. So let's fire up Chatgpt 4.1 and show you exactly how to use it to make money online. Come on. Let's go to work. All right, so let's fire up Chatgpt 4.1 and see exactly how this will work. First of all, we want to go through and notice a lot of AI news lately where we're talking about layoffs and different things like that. So now it's more important than ever to learn how to use AI to make money. This is super important, and I think these are skills that will work whether you're making your own business, looking for a new job, or creating a new job altogether. This is super important stuff. Now, when looking at the difference between 4.0, which is the regular model, and 4.1, and also other models like Claude and different AI tools like Gemini, we're going to see where this stacks up, where we're going to use it, and how it's going to help us build an affiliate marketing business or run our regular day-to-day business, such as like writing content and things like that. Now, there's several things that I use AI for on a day-to-day basis. One of them is coding, where we're actually coding programs and tools and software, like these little things here that I use in my videos, and other tools that we create as well. Also, creating content, making content, written words that we use for rankings, video scripts, and things like that, super important. Research, which right now we're using Gemini DeepSeek, or Deep Research rather, to do a lot of our research, which is working really well. We also use Notebook LM, so it's going to be important to see where this stacks up. Now, another thing we use it for is understanding and writing different guides and things like that. When it comes to writing code and guides and all different things that AI can do, it's very important to understand what we're using each tool for. Otherwise, you'll just get lost in the sea of tools. You'll find neat stuff, but you're not actually going to get out there and make money. So let's go ahead and talk about some of those things that we're using to, first of all, get to Chatgpt 4.1. You're just going to drop down here. You're going to choose more models, and then you'll choose 4.1 or 4.1 mini. Using these will allow you to do all different kinds of things like images, search the web, deep research, code, and more. And you can see right here, Canvas is for coding, which I believe it'll have actual previews. We'll try this out. I did a code over here. So let's go ahead and run this while we're going and see how this builds it. And then I'll show you how we're going to make money with it as well. And I believe the Canvas 4.1 does have a preview. It looks like it, so we'll have to see exactly how it works. It is using React, so we'll have to convert it for our website, but we can see it will allow us to preview it, which is great. So going through here, looking at the major differences between what's going on, we did test it to make WordPress plugins and various things like that. So first, let's go through and see how 4.1 fares when it comes to writing. So we're going to start here and do Chatgpt 4.1. And we'll give this a score. Profit potential, I'm going to say it's off the chart if you know how to use it. Implementation difficulty, I don't think it's difficult at all. Market timing, there's always a new AI, so I'm not too worried about that. How are we going to profit? Well, first of all, we can profit with written words, SEO, blog posts, things like that, okay? So let's see how it fares when it comes to actually writing content. I went through and I gave Chatgpt 4.1 and Chatgpt 4.0 the same exact prompt. Let's write an article about using AI in WordPress to make money, 3,000 words, please. Now, the first one came up with, I believe it was around 1,100 or 1,400 words, and the 4.1 came up with about 2,300 words. Now, words aren't important. It's not like the volume, it's the quality. So let's take a look at the difference in quality. How to make money using WordPress and Chatgpt. How to use AI in WordPress to make real money even as a beginner versus how to make money with AI in WordPress, the complete 2025 guide. I think this would actually work better when it comes to SEO. So this, right out of the gate, we're seeing 4.1 is better for writing. And we could see introduction, digital landscape, introduction, internet is no longer a place for entertainment. It's a machine that prints money for those. A little sensationalized. I think this is more down to earth and better, where it's, it's going to lead people in without being too out there. Table of contents. Does this one have a table of contents? No, it just goes into section 1. So if you like the table of contents, I think this can work. And this one is actually very visually stimulating, which is good. Like, I could see what I want at a glance. I could probably even ask it to have hyperlinks to where that part is in the text. It also came up with different words like website as a service, which I thought was pretty cool as well. And let's take a look over here and see. Okay, so this one, best treadmills for home. So it does give some examples. Okay, 50 AI-powered reviews. I don't know if this is actually a real website. I don't know if it's like hallucinating or not. I'll check it in another browser and see if it's actually coming up with something good, because the last thing we want is junk. So it is junk. It is a website that's on sale, so I don't know where it got that. 4.0 hallucinated. 4.1 doesn't seem to be hallucinating, and it is talking about good stuff here, how AI supercharges AI-driven SEO. So this is looking pretty good. It's got some tools in there. I think overall, it's a much better article. Like, I would feel much better having 4.1's article versus 4.0. And 4.1 did give 4.0 did give us another site. That second site, again, hallucinated, didn't even have anything there. So we're seeing that right out of the gate, 4.1 is writing better. Now, let's go through and see how it fares up with word count, plagiarism, and different things like that. I ran these both through Grammarly. As we can see here, the 4.1 article had about 2,100 words. The other one, about half the size. So, half the size, less quality. Now, I did see that this one has 2% plagiarism, which is good. That means very little plagiarism. We can also see that it didn't detect any AI patterns. Now, let's run this through another AI tool and see if we can see if there are AI patterns on that. Let's do Copyscape. And here we go, Copyscape AI detector. We'll see if this does show any detection here. Let's do a scan and see if that shows up as well. And this is using 4.0, so it'd be interesting to see. So this is saying 100% AI content. Let's try this one here, which is the 4.1 version. See if this comes up with any plagiarism. Clear and scan. All right, so we had 100% there, 100% here. So they're both flagged in copy leaks, which, again, take this with a rule of the grain of salt. Nothing too big here. That's not going to be the be-all, end-all. So looking at this, I think for writing, quality of content with a simple prompt, I'm going to say 4.1 nailed it out of the get-go. Much better article than 4.0. Much more detail, much more tools, whereas this one is more like about various things. Now, I did like that it had this tool breakdown, so maybe using them side by side would be good. So I think, again, 4.1 did a little bit better job. If you're just looking to write content at scale, like you want to bulk, I would say 4.1 is probably going to help better because it's doing more thorough of a job, and then we can add to it. Now, I highly recommend, if you're doing affiliate marketing, do more than just one prompt. We talked about this in yesterday's video. I'll link to it in the description, where we're actually taking content from one prompt, putting it in another program and running it so that we get something unique. However, right at the test, we are seeing 4.1 is doing better. Now, as far as coding, I went through and gave 4.1 and 4.0 the same code task over here, where I said, make us a WordPress plugin. So same prompt, let's make a WordPress plugin. Now, why did I do this? Because I sell WordPress plugins. So if I could use AI, 4.1, Chatgpt, to make WordPress plugins right out of the gate, download, ready to go, I think we're going to be looking pretty. So here is our prompt here, 4.1, and here it is in 4.0. Both of them did give me a downloadable zip file, which is good. I did actually test that zip file, and it worked. So the first one out of 4.1, I installed the plugin right like this, and we'll put the 4.0 one so you can see the difference as well. right over here, it was the clipboard paste image. So the plugin was, I wanted to be able to take images from my clipboard and paste them into WordPress without having to upload them. So like over here, what I do all the time is I use a program like Snagit, or you could use Snipper or anything in your clipboard, copy the image, and I wanted to be able to just post it right into a WordPress post without having to deal with all the fancy stuff. Okay, so going in here, if I had a post like this, I want to be able to copy and paste. So installing the plugin, clipboard paste image, am I able to do that? Copy, paste. Let's go into visual, and we should be able to paste it right here. There it goes. It did work. It was a little slow, but it did actually work without having to upload. I can publish. I'm good to go. Plugin works right out of the gate flawlessly. I like this, okay? Let's take a look at how the one worked with the other. So this was clipboard. Let's try upload. This is the one from 4.0, which is the paster. Install and activate. It did work, so it did install. Let's see where that's at. We'll deactivate this one here, and we will do post, add post, see if we can paste right in there. It's either being slow or not working. Okay, so it looks like this plugin didn't work. So 4.1 is making a WordPress plugin that actually works with a downloadable zip file, which means I can now go in and create these plugins and then have it brand them. So I could go in and say, now brand this for Blog Profit Network. We'll do AI Profit Scoop. AI Profit Scoop. Make a welcome settings page and more. And it'll go in and do this for us. So it's basically like having a programmer, and it'll do this for us, which is really good. Now we're going through, it works with Gutenberg and Classic, and it actually does work. That's the big kahuna there, is the fact that it actually does work, whereas the 4.0 one did not work. I mean, having a working tool is kind of the whole point of making this stuff. So I think that's a big deal. For coding, I think this is amazing. So let's do how to profit, create tools, codes, WP plugins. This is something I've made a lot of money with. Again, results not typical, applied, or guaranteed. I've made millions selling WordPress plugins. Most people trying to make money online make nothing. Most people watching these videos make nothing. We're just showing you what I do on a daily basis and how to use Chatgpt 4.1 to do things that otherwise we weren't able to do. So content creation, good. Video production, if you have Chatgpt, you do have Sora, but that's not exactly what 4.1 is for. So I'm not sure if that would work very well. Let's try the deep research, see if that helps. Find some WordPress plugins that sold a lot and made a lot of money. Think SEO Presser. This is a simple one that sold a lot back in the day, and that was before I got into programming, so it would have been nice to have AI that would make this. So we have Code Canyon, all of this. Let's just do all, please. And let's see. Okay, so all, please. Boom. And that should do that. We'll see if it's different from regular deep research, because that would be kind of cool as well. So coding, night and day. The code actually worked. So can we use it to do a platform or tool? Services? Yes, you can make your own services, websites, e-com, consulting, affiliate marketing. Yes, you can make like I can make that Clippy plugin that literally just copies and pastes right out of the gate. Took me 5 minutes to make. I can give that away and sell other plugins as a premium or web hosting or even tools or something, maybe a Pinterest class, because if they're pasting images, kind of fits with that. So we can go through it and make that work. Subscription model, I could, probably not there yet. I mean, I could use this since it does do scripts. Automation service, coaching, training, templates. Yes, I could make templates. I could probably go through and have it create an actual template for WordPress. Now, I actually went through, this is the memory game we were testing earlier, which looks pretty cool. And let's see, I'm probably going to be terrible at this, but you know, There we go. So we can go through and see how this works. And I'll show you in just a minute how this ties into affiliate marketing and stuff like that, because I mean, this is game changer for those that are paying attention. All right, so now we have coding. We have this. Let's see if it'll convert it. Now convert this to HTML, and we'll upload it and see if it actually works. If it works out of the get-go or out of the gate, we're going to look pretty good. Okay, so now we'll do like this and see how the code works. And I like it because 4.1 is more visually stimulating, so it's creating prettier codes, prettier software, websites, tools, and things like that. So we have this here. It's still going. We'll have some coffee while we wait. And I'll show you how I would make money with this as well. Okay, so now we have this. We're going to copy it. I'll just go over to my web server right here into our test folder, create a new file. We'll call this memory.html, create, and we're just going to paste the code as is, straight up, no changes. Now, we should be able to go to our site, right like this, go to 41, and it was memory.html, and it works. Right out of the gate, it is absolutely working, which is fantastic. So, I like that. More about how that works now. It did remove the top bar stuff, this memory game site. I don't know if that might just be a Chatgpt thing, but I did like that was up there, so I might ask it to add a header. One of the cool things here is I could say now add a header where I can put my logo and a footer. Because if I can make a site with a bunch of memory games, you'll see like this leads to stuff that makes money. Right here, if I go to Ahrefs and do memory game, right like this, you could see hundreds of thousands of people looking this up each and every month and playing this kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. Again, I'll show you how to make money with that in just a minute. Research, let's take a look at how it's doing on the deep research side. What I wanted to do, I knew what I wanted. I want examples of codes, plugins, and tools that are making money. So now we got quite a few coming in here. WP Rocket, nice. WMPL. So it is doing research on different things, and it looks like it did understand what the task was, which was important. That's super important, because if it goes and researches what it thinks I want and not what I actually want, like the hallucinations and all that, then you're going to have some trouble. However, 4.1, although slower, it does seem to be doing a better job. Now, going through here, the codes were working right out of the gate. The plugin worked right out of the gate. I like this. As far as writing, I think understanding simple prompts is pretty cool. So let's try the way that I write. And if you like this, I'll put a link in the description to my entire How to Make AI Content guide. So let's do new 4.1. Tell me about the business of making WordPress plugins. Stats, earnings, everything. We'll do something like this. And then what I would want to do is I'd want to tie this in to like plugin business or something like that. Business director, WordPress. So there's a couple things about WordPress plugin business. Let's do software as a service business, because that's basically the same thing. So now we can tie this into software as a service business. That would be our keyword. So watch how we like kind of walk this down. We're going to start with tell me about the business. Great. Now I want to use this stuff to rank for SAS business, WordPress, plugin, makes amount. Something like this. Let's start the article with the intent and title. And then we could walk it through and actually make a good article that people would actually want to read. So how to build a SaaS business, case study, okay, WordPress. So I would probably want something with software as a service first. So I would do this, get rid of that, and just do software as a service business with a WordPress plugin, made this or whatever, okay? Or even this, simple WordPress plugin became a SaaS bit. That, I like that. So we'll do like this. Let's start with, okay, so now we're going to do this here. Today's digital landscape. Looks like it starts a lot with the digital landscape. More hard hitting. Let's get straight to the examples and why WordPress plugins are easier than other software as a service. Something like this. So let's see if it understands and prompts good. How a simple WordPress plugin became a SaaS, earning this. Good. Now we have it. This is what I want. Boom. Done deal. Now it's going through with content I can actually use. Fast to profit. This is great. Now let's make the full article based on what you started. Let's do 4,500 words, please. See how this does, okay? So software development, API, yes, this does tie into API, so you can make tools around it, which is pretty cool. So now we have our table of contents, which is linkable, okay? So it has the hashtag linkable stuff. I could copy that as HTML. Introduction, why WordPress is easiest, WP Rocket. So this is actually doing really, really good. I think this is fantastic. Let's see how our deep search is doing. Deep research over here, still going. It's researching pretty deep, it looks like, right? So now we have this here, freemium code. It's pretty quick, launch on WordPress. So this is a good piece of content. This is something that I think is pretty unique. Like if we go out there and do SaaS WordPress plugin, I don't think you're going to see a lot of stuff for businesses. Doesn't look like it. How to sell in WooCommerce. No, not a whole lot about this. So this is going to be unique, which is pretty cool. This is okay. Let's see. I don't know if he's got a lot of views here. Not much. But again, so this would be more or less pretty unique content, which is looking good. So now let's copy all this. It did time out, but let's take what we have so far. And I would combine it, like I would go from the title straight to this content here and then do the table of contents. Because that would be, it'd be like a Johnson box at top to keep people reading. Then they would see the table of contents. Then they can go even deeper. But let's go ahead and throw this in Grammarly. See how it's doing so far when it comes to plagiarism and all that. So we got 1,700 words. We asked for 4,500, but it did time out. So not too worried about that. Sometimes you just need to pass it a few times. And I would try to rank for this with Google rankings to get traffic and sell a course about software as a service or something like that. It has 1% plagiarism and 0 AI detection patterns. Again, I'm sure Copyscape is going to say it's all AI, but take that with a grain of salt. If it's unique and good, you're golden. Hey, this is actually a little bit lower, so that's looking pretty solid, okay? Awesome stuff, looking good. Now, games, did it add our spot for... It did, but not in the preview. Interesting. So I would actually have to upload this to see if it's gonna add that. So save changes. We should have, let's see, had it on here, 41. Memory. It did have a spot for the logo, and it did have a spot for a footer. So this is pretty cool. Right? I like it. That's good. Now, for those of you wondering how I would make money with this, since the deep research is still going, we'll come back to this. I wanted to show you how I'd make money. If I had a bunch of memory games and I got a bunch of traffic, I could come over to OfferVault and I could promote different memory offers, which actually they sell really well. Now, obviously, make sure they're good. Make sure they help. There are ClickBank offers as well if you want more of like a guide or something like that. Or you could sell them like a pack of memory games for, people that are getting older and want to keep their memory going. Really cool stuff there. I think that's good. Again, make sure you vet the offers, make sure you're doing good stuff, but they do pay really well. Some of those offers were paying like $150 a sale or more. Now, we can see here, most commercially successful WordPress plugins of all time, Yoast, SEO Presser, 23. God, wow, they got a lot I had no idea. But this one, it was such a simple plugin. And that's why I'm talking to you about this stuff of making money is like, wow, there's a lot of things here. And I can use this deep research. Let's throw this in Grammarly and see how we're looking. Because I did test this yesterday on Gemini, and I found that there you go. Nothing there. So I have 2,500 words I can add to my article and make work for people that are looking for doing WordPress plugins as a software as a service type business. So seeing how to stack these up and get good content is great. We also did this here with Claude. I wasn't too impressed. I actually did like Chatgpt 4.1's writing. So using the deep research and the writing together, I think is key. Using the coding, getting stuff out of the gate. I mean, boom, WordPress plugin worked. 4.1 or 4.0 did not work. The memory game worked right out of the gate. Boom, ready to go. So we're seeing that this is a step further in being able to make money as an affiliate marketer. Think of the tools you can make, think of the games you can make, think of content you can write, how you can get traffic, make things that people actually want to consume. And I think 4.1 is going to help you. So my final thoughts, I think, yes, this is definitely better. This will definitely help me in my business with writing. I'm probably going to get all of my content writers on 4.1 immediately because, hey, this is working right out of the gate, which is looking good. Now, if you want to break down on some of the other ways I use AI to make money, check out AIProfitScoop.com. Also in AI Profit Scoop, I have a 3-hour training on how I write AI content. Now, that does need to be updated. It was done a while ago, but it's still relevant. We're going to update it with 4.1 and the new tools very, very soon. Probably as soon as I'm done making this video, I'm going to make that. So if you're not a member of AIProfitScoop.com, check it out and check out the links in the description. Use ChatGPT 4.1, test it out. I think there are some things people aren't noticing that are way better than the older version. So enjoy it, smash the like button, check out the videos in the description, and I'll see you over at AIProfitScoop.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.